Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about some of the most common questions that I'll get asked off the street, or basically if someone knows nothing about multi-rotors, this is the video for you. Some of these questions make sense, and some of these questions are just, why? So the first question is, how high will it go? How high will your multi-rotor fly into the sky? There's a lot of different things that will determine how high it's going to go. You can't just say it's going to go exactly this height and this is where it's going to stay. You have battery life, your radio range. If you're doing FPV, you have your video range. And then there's how high you're legally allowed to go in your area. And if you're not doing FPV, how are you supposed to see it if you're a mile into the sky? How fast does your multi-rotor go? Again, there's many things that will determine how fast your quadcopter or your hexcopter or your tricopter or whatever it is going to go. There are so many factors: your props, your motors, the batteries you're using, your ESCs, how big your quad is, how windy it is, which direction you're going in the wind. In a straight line, I might be going 20, 15, maybe 25 at most. But if I'm heading down a mountain or something, I could be going 65 miles per hour. Will it fly upside down? Yes. Next is, how long will it fly? Most smaller multi-rotors can only fly for about 10 minutes. But then if you have a bigger multi-rotor, like a hexcopter, or just a bigger quadcopter with a lot of battery, you could be flying for 20, 30, 40, maybe even an hour. But in general, most multi-rotors will fly for about 10 to 15 minutes. The next question is, did you make it yourself? Ugh. Did I spend thousands of hours of research trying to figure out what parts to buy? Did I learn how to put everything together? Yes. Did I sit there and forge the metal out of the ground to manufacture my motors? No. That's the thing about this hobby, is you don't have to do everything from scratch. It's almost impossible to build every single part of the thing from scratch, from the motors to the speed controllers and all of the programming. A lot of people actually do build their frames from scratch, including myself. How much does it cost? It really depends on what it is you're trying to build. If you're building a typical 450 size quadcopter, it's probably going to be around $300 and then another $100 for your radio. But you can go out and buy like a little tiny little quadcopter for like $50, or you can go out and spend $30,000 on a massive camera system that's made by some company that does video work. Is it hard to fly? The funny thing is, multi-rotors are actually impossible to fly. You need a minimum of 3 gyros just to get the thing to hover. And then if you want it to be easy to fly, where anybody can pick it up, you need accelerometers, sometimes ultrasonic sensors, GPS. The most basic form of flying is called rate mode, where you're just using the 3 gyros that are on board to fly. When you have the accelerometers and sometimes a GPS, it's really easy to fly a quadcopter. But in what's called rate mode, where you're using just 3 gyros, that's what takes the longest amount of time to learn. Rate mode is the only mode where you can do flips, rolls, and most people fly FPV in rate mode. Do you spy on your neighbors? Do I care what my neighbors are doing? No. The last and most common thing that people ask me when I'm out flying is, can I fly your quadcopter? Really? If you fly multi-rotors, you've invested hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars into whatever it is that you're building. Don't ever let someone else fly your machine. You will regret it a lot. So that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions or you want to check out my site, you can go down to the description. If you didn't already know, my name is Corey Smith, and I'll see you in another video. If you want to become a Did I?
Bleh.
So don't like. Bleh.
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 Bleh. And I will see you in another video, in another time, in another world.